What's up, blockchain? This is Nick from Truthblitz. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon. As always, we are going to start by taking a look at the market quickly, and we are in a bit of a pullback. Nothing major as of yet, but currently we are down to $331 billion overall market cap. Bitcoin dominance 44.1%, and as you can see, Bitcoin is at 86.46 currently, down 3.51% in the 24-hour period. So we have a lot of red in the market, as you can see. And if we take a look at Crypto Blood's chart, and as I said, we were going to test this around 9200 area again and either break through it or bounce back down. So as you can see, we bounced back down again. Where it will level out, I am not sure. I don't know how far we're gonna go, but like I said, we will either go lower and test this area again, or we are gonna make another shot at trying to break through this resistance area of 90. We're gonna say 9200. So something to keep an eye on. Quickly on this article here, EOS eyes bull reversal after 70% spike, and I'm so pissed because you guys know that I am a big EOS fan. When the price was down really low to around $4, I said to myself, you know, I'm gonna have to go buy a bunch more, and I slipped up on that and did not do it, and man, did EOS take off. Currently it is down a little bit from where it was, but currently, as you can see, we have $6 and 76%. Actually no, that is up. Yeah, actually we got to about, I think seven something at one point. But yeah, EOS is really doing good. Still very excited about EOS. I have people asking me because I haven't talked about it a lot lately. So yes, I am still excited on EOS. Yes, I am still bullish on EOS, and I think EOS still is going to be a game changer. So now let's talk about this article briefly. Facebook users could retake control of content with blockchain, says an analyst. Now, for those who don't know about this whole thing, this Cambridge Analytica scandal, we'll call it a scandal even though it's a common practice. Basically, this company was contracted to data mine for the Trump campaign using Facebook data so that people could be not targeted but contacted in regards to, you know, the election. So, you know, this came out. There's this huge thing, you know, and I'm not going to get into this too much, but you know, off the subject of data, of using people's personal data and data mining, what people are failing to, what the mainstream media is failing to mention, is that this is not an uncommon practice. What they fail to mention is the Obama campaign did the same exact thing, and there's no outcry, there was no, you know, uproar about that. So, you know, obviously we can see the bias and the political motive here in raising a stink about this, but you know, it goes on to say blockchain could be a solution to the battle social media users face over misuse of personal data and content, RBC Capital Markets said March 21st. Speaking to CNBC in the wake of the ongoing Facebook privacy scandal, RBC analyst Mitch Steves said blockchain is where we're going long term with regard to data integrity online. And right off the bat, you know, I think of Pillar. And you know, with one of Pillar's main goals is giving the user the ability to control their own data, right? So, this is, this is not, we're not talking about medical records here with Facebook or anything like that. But still, it brings that to mind. So, in the future, someone like yourself no longer has to give their photos to Facebook, Steve's told the network's Fast Money segment. Instead, you could just share that photo specifically with people, and then you'd be able to track it and make sure it's not shared with someone who gets access to your information. While blockchain technology has so far not made inroads into mainstream social media technical setups, dedicated blockchain-based alternatives continue to appear, from dating networks to communities such as Steemit. As Steve's notes, however, as much as the technology offers transparency, Facebook users would still not have full power over how their data spreads across the internet. The one problem that it does not solve is that it does not allow you to stop it. He continued about third parties sharing content which unwittingly became accessible to them via a user's privacy settings. Let's say Facebook decided to sell your photo to some advertiser. You would be able to see that the transaction happened, but you would not be able to prevent that transaction from occurring in the first place. In what may now be viewed as a hint of irony, in January, Facebook banned cryptocurrency advertisements throughout its platform over what it described as a deceptive promotional practices. So, blockchain is the answer to so many different problems, and one I want to talk about briefly again, and I've talked about it in the past, which I'll get into that in a minute. But to continue on this topic here, I just want to point out, Zuckerberg kind of went into hiding after this whole Cambridge Analytica thing, and then finally comes out and says this. Zuckerberg says, Facebook must protect user data or we don't deserve to serve you. Let's be real honest here. Anybody who knows what's going on knows that Facebook does not serve the user, all right? Facebook is used to data mine on a large scale for the NSA, for the CIA, and that's been admitted. So, to make it seem like, to point the finger and say that this, the use of data to contact people about the election is this huge scandal and this big crime. Well, the government does this every day. Every time you post something on Facebook about yourself or your personal life or anything, all that data is collected and stored. And we have profiles built on us, every single person. So that uses any means of social media or anything of that nature. So it's just a little ironic to me. It really is. But blockchain is the solution to a lot of these issues. Now, I know you could argue and say, well, blockchain is, technically a public ledger in a lot of cases anyway. Not every blockchain is public, but, we have a lot of privacy oriented coins and blockchains. But I think we are going to see a huge push into blockchain. So when it comes to social media, when it comes to things of that nature, it is the way things are going. So, and that brings me to what else I wanted to talk about is, again, the censorship. We are seeing, again, that YouTube has changed their terms of service. It is now going to be against a violation of their terms of service to post any kind of gun reviews. From what I hear, and I don't know every detail yet, but from what I hear, any video games that include, you know, like first-person shooters, movie trailers that have guns in them. So, you know, I watch a lot and subscribe to a lot of YouTube channels that are firearms channels. I get a lot of information. If I have a firearm that I own that I don't know how to take apart, and I want to do something to it, I will look for a video. Instead of doing it on my own, I'll look for a video and watch how it's done, things like that. So we are seeing, again, even though this has already kind of happened once, channels were restored, now we're seeing that it is a total violation of terms of service to, or going to be a total violation of terms of service to upload any firearms related content. Why am I talking about this? Well, because first of all, it is a violation of the First Amendment. It's not hurting anybody. And I've talked about blockchain as a solution. We just talked about this on the Block Party podcast with Sean from SGT Report. There is a bigger picture here. And whether you agree with or like firearms or the Second Amendment or not is totally irrelevant. If they can silence a faction of people, then they can silence others for other reasons. And this is only the beginning. Okay, so what we're looking at is total control of the internet. This is about as Orwellian as it gets. And blockchain is the answer to this. So I know we have Steemit, which is not as user-friendly as Facebook. So people, and I'm going to use the term, I'm going to try to use the right term this time, people who are not tech savvy. All right, I'm not going to say technologically stupid. I'm not going to say that. People who are not tech savvy are going to have a lot harder time using Steemit and DTube than they would Facebook. So what we need to see is, you know, social media platforms, video hosting platforms that are on the blockchain that have ease of use so that the person who is not a computer genius can easily learn how to use it, because we need to put an end to censorship. Okay, this is not what the First Amendment is about. The First Amendment does not state that you have a right to free speech as long as you believe in this ideology. That's not how it works. It gives everyone a right to free speech and a right to freedom of the press, not just a select political group. So we need to see platforms that are easy to use so that people can, you know, fight back against this blatant censorship and silencing of people with libertarian and conservative viewpoints. And that is what it boils down to. I know that, you know, and we talked about this as well, we really need to fight back against this in other ways too, like the courts, because if this sets a, it sets a precedent, you know, and if the courts don't step in and say, you guys cannot do this, then what's going to happen next? We're going to see a lot of platforms get even more Orwellian and even more tyrannical when it comes down to censoring what they don't want on the internet. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that. Make sure you guys check me out at truthblitz.com. You guys can also check out my non-crypto YouTube channel. I'll post a link in the description and icon right now on the screen. Also, please check out the Block Party podcast channel and subscribe there. Got a couple guests lined up for the next episodes that I think you will enjoy. So that's pretty much it, and I will talk to you guys later.